open the special meeting of the Union County Water and Sewer Board of Governors for Monday, June 21st, 2021. And we'll begin by discussing system development fee, capital reserve fund. And Brian, I think you're going to give us a hand with that.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is, of course, a meeting of the Water and Sewer District Board of Governors. As you may be aware, the district is actually responsible for the operation of our utility. The Board of County Commissioners plays a role in that, but the Board of Governors is also a function of the operating budget as well as the operations for the utility. You've got several items on your agenda here that we'll need some action from. I'll start with number one, system development fee, capital reserve fund. Every year, we have to actually determine what we anticipate we will get in system development fees. That has to then go into a capital reserve fund and used specifically for projects at which those fees are collected. They can be used for the construction of projects in the area where they're collected, for debt service, for professional fees. You have currently, the request is for the board to adopt those in the amount of $6,720,710. You have an item which shows the categories at which those system development fees would be split into. We are actually using the fund balance of our system development fees from previous to come up with that total number, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, but that is to actually allocate those fees for those projects as listed.
Any questions? Commissioner Rushing?
What's the total fund balance?
The total fund balance is the $1.298 million, so that is the number which you'll see on that. That is the fund balance that we're using.
Okay.
And it's been about 25 years since these fees were updated?
No, sir. These are not the miscellaneous fees and charges. This is our system development fees.
Oh, I'm sorry, system development fees.
Yes, sir. So these are the fees that we collect to help with increasing our system allocation. Yes, sir.
Any further questions? Then I'll make a motion we adopt the Water and Sewer District Budget Amendment 1 and adopt resolution of the Union County Water and Sewer District Board of Governors amending the System Development Fee Capital Reserve Fund. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's Brian again.
Yes, sir. So item number 2 is your fee schedule amendment, and that was the question that Commissioner Williams asked. So the actual utility has a number of fees and charges that we charge to recover our cost for doing business. And a lot of these have to do with new customers as well as some existing customers. We've determined that a number of these fees have not been updated in approximately 25 years. And so we worked with our company that helps us with our rates, Stantec. We evaluated the cost recovery of the fees that we have in place, and we've determined that there's a significant difference between what we currently charge versus what the actual cost is for these fees and these services that we provide. So we've given you a list of those. I do want to kind of go over a couple of examples. One of the examples that we have is, say, for a meter set fee. If you were to ask for a new meter to be installed on your property, I'm talking about a 3/4 inch meter. Currently, that cost is $185 for someone to come out and do a meter set fee. For full cost recovery, if we were to do that, is really $360. We're not asking the board to take that level of increase at this point in time. We're asking you to increase it by 50% at this time, so $272. Ultimately, we will be asking the board in a future fiscal year for you to increase those fees so that we get to the full cost recovery. But understanding that's a big lift to go from $185 to $360. we're asking the board in these fees to really it's really a 50% increase. I'll give you another example. Your water tap fees, same thing for a 3/4 inch tap. Currently, that fee is $400. The full cost of providing that is $1,740. That's what it takes for us to actually get that work done. We're not asking you to go to $1,740. It's $1,070 is the amount that we're asking that you do for the current amount. And then in the future, we would ask for those, that additional increase to get us to full cost recovery. So you have a list of the fees that are here. What we're asking the board is to take action to increase those fees. The commissioners will also have to make that decision later in the day as well.
Brian, for clarity, a 3/4 inch tap is your basic residential tap.
That
right?
is correct, yes, sir. So your average home is going to use a 3/4 inch tap. So the larger the tap, usually the larger the service need. If you've got a major company and they need a lot of water, they're going to have a bigger tap, and they're going to have a much larger increase, a much larger cost that they have to pay.
Okay. Commissioner Simpson?
Brian, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brian, what was the process, or where did the information come from that came up with these new fees?
Sure. So what we did is we went back and evaluated our time and materials and our actual cost for when we go out to do this work. So we had a company, it's Stantec, they helped us with our rate model. They also worked through all of that with us to come up with, this is your true cost of recovery for each one of these items.
So is it in labor and transportation, or is it pipe and fittings and
It's
wiring?
everything. It's material, it's labor, it's transportation, it's everything related to the cost of that particular item.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Rushing?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brian, when we go out and put a tap in or a meter, there's a charge for that based on the homeowner. But like when we do a pump station, let's say that a builder comes in and they can't get a piece of property developed because they need sewer, and it doesn't gravity feed to any sewer lines, and we allow a pump station, the Public Works allows a pump station. Are there any fees associated with that, or does the developer just pay for that?
The developer is paying for the installation of those lines and the pump station. Now,
They put them in.
Yes, sir. Now, I will tell you that if it's determined that that pump station size really should be larger to serve a greater area, then they're only responsible really for the amount that is for their project. They may have to dig the wet well to be the exact same size it needs to be, but their pump size is often just low, it's small enough to meet their needs. And then the cost of upsizing that pump is a cost that's borne later on.
Are there any fees associated with going out to a meter and replacing or repairing a meter? There's nothing like that in here, right? There's nothing where a homeowner, what kind of fees would be associated with a homeowner after they pay the initial fee?
So obviously, if you're delinquent, there's some fees associated with delinquency. If you're disconnected, there are disconnection fees that you have to pay, and some of those are on here because we're not charging what we should be charging for those costs. As far as repairing a meter, as long as the meter isn't damaged by the customer themselves, then they're not paying for that cost. But if we can determine that they're negligent and they damaged that meter, then they may be responsible for the cost of replacing that meter or repairing it.
How many times a year are we required to inspect or go out and visit a pump station that's put in?
I do not know the answer to that, sir.
Mr. Yee?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Andy Neff, Water and Wastewater Director. We inspect pump stations weekly in the field.
Once per week?
Yes, sir.
Are there any items in here to increase the fee? Any fees for that, going out and sending an employee out to inspect these pump stations once per week?
No, there's nothing in this fee schedule that does that.
Yeah, so that is normal operations of our pump station. So once the pump station's ours, then it's ours to maintain at that point in time.
So at a cost of, we send an employee out once a week, minimum,
Certainly.
to check and oversee. Now, when we replace them, because I know we've replaced some, especially in the Waxhaw area.
Again, if it's no different than if we are replacing a service line that's our line. If we decide that we need to replace that line, that cost is borne by the utility. We don't charge an extra charge to property owners. Now, understand that the rates that are charged to our customers are already designed for those costs inside of them. So we already determine how much R&R, replacement repair we're going to do, all the other things that we're going to do, and those rates are actually built with that in mind.
So what's our smallest pump station that handles?
I don't know the smallest pump station.
20 houses, 30 houses?
Off the top of our head, I couldn't answer that question.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions? Okay, I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution of the Union County Water and Sewer District Board of Governors for the amendment to the Union County Water and Sewer District rate and fee schedule related to miscellaneous fees and charges. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Okay.
All right, item number 3 is the actual proposed operating budget for the Water and Sewer District. As I said previously, the Board of Commissioners will also have to take action, but the District Board of Governors must also take some action here. The proposed budget for the operation of the Water and Sewer District is $72,081,620. That does include any of the cost of operating as well as any internal transfers that we may have. A presentation was done briefly on June 7th. We also conducted a public hearing and received public input as far as the operating budget goes. And I'm here tonight to ask the Board of Governors to adopt the resolution for the operating budget.
Any discussion? No discussion. I'll make a motion to adopt the Union County Water and Sewer District proposed FY 2022 operating budget resolution. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Okay,
And last but not least, you have your minutes.
that's correct. And I think everyone received advanced copies of the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of the Union County Water and Sewer District Board of Governors of Monday, June the 7th, 2021.
Okay, any discussion? No discussion? All in favor of the motion? Aye. Okay. And with that, we'll close and adjourn our special meeting for the Union County Board of Governors, Water and Sewer Board of Governors. All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you.